Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to pick up where we left off with our last assignment. Last class, we introduced Photoshop. We looked at the 4 areas of the Photoshop workspace, and we used the Move tool, the Shapes tool, and we ended class with the Brush tool. Today, you're going to spend about 15 minutes using the Text tool, and then at the end of the 15 minutes, you're going to start a design on a new canvas that you're using all 4 of those tools to make some form of a design. And when you're done that, you will submit that to Google Classroom. So to get started, you need to go to Photoshop, and either you pinned it to your taskbar, or if you didn't, you go to the Startup menu and you scroll down until you see Photoshop CC 2019. When this program launches, you'll have a window that pops up that allow you to open up your document from last class. So 2 ways to do that. One, on this left-hand side, you have an open button, or if you look down on the bottom, you should have a recent, and it allows you to open up documents you've done in the last few days. So mine is down in the recent area, so I'm going to click on it to open, and here it is. So now, first, a little refresher. On this left-hand side with all these icons, this is your toolbox. This is where you find the brush, the gradient, the shapes tool, and this is where you'll find the text tool. Up top, where it says File, Edit, for Transform, this is your menu bar. And then right below it is your options bar. And remember, that changes depending on the tool that you have selected. So your text tool looks different than your brush tool. And then on this right-hand side, this is where your panels are, and most importantly, where your layers are located. All right, so to get started, I'm first going to make a new layer on my layer panel. Down on the bottom, right next to the trash can, there's that square with the corner turned up. When I click on here, I get a blank layer, and I'm going to grab the text tool. And for now, when I click and hold, I'm just going to show you the horizontal type tool, but check out the vertical one as well. So I'm going to click, and what it does is it gives me some sort of filler text, so I can go ahead and type in something. I can use the Move tool to move it around. I can highlight it with the text tool by double-clicking over it, and this allows me to go back in to make changes. So if I go up to my options bar, up here under the image layer, you'll see there's a little drop down that allows you to change the type of text you have. So this is where you can find, your New Roman's Time, your Arial, and then there's some kind of funkier ones in here that you can kind of check out and experiment with. So here's one. I've changed it. Right next to it, I can choose just regular. Different ones allow you to choose like italics or bold. This depends on the type of text you've chosen here. Next is the size. So this is like the 12-point font, which you normally would type in, or you can make a larger font depending how large you want the text to be. This is a drop down that lets you choose like the edge of the text. It's sort of, it's about how clean that edge is. Left justified, centered, right. And then here's where you can choose your color. And I can change it to whatever I would like. I can also use a dropper by pushing the cursor out over the document. And I can choose a color that I have already chosen on my document. I can click OK. Next to it, this is the warp tool. If I click on this, it allows me to sort of change the shape of it a little bit, and I could customize it. And then the last thing to be aware of up here is there's this little folder, toggle the character and paragraph panels. And this allows a ton more customization that feel free to check out if you would like. The other piece to note is if I use the text tool and I click and hold. So I'm just going to click off of it with the move tool. Go back to the text tool, click and drag. This gives me a body of text that I can type within. I can also, if I say I want to do something cool with like adding a texture or something in the background, I can copy and paste and repeat a word. I can also sort of stretch it, maybe type in some more. And what I could do is I could, instead of just trying to say or write a sentence, I can bring this to the background. I can change the font color to be maybe a little more subtle. And I can play around with sort of that being a repeating pattern. So check out the text tool, try it, change the options, add some text to your practice. You'll have about 15 minutes to do this. And then you will, when you're done, save, and you will make a file, new canvas. You're going to name it your name, grade, and practice 2. And then I'm going to hit create, and then you'll create a blank one that you will create a design in using those 4 tools, and you'll share this on Google Classroom.